There's a kind of pain no one talks about. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It's that quiet ache you feel when everything looks normal, but nothing feels real. You smile, you post, you go through the motions, but inside, something is slipping. You stare at your reflection and wonder, is this all there is? They told you to chase the dream, to get the degree, the job, the life. But now you're here, and it's so damn silent. Not peaceful, empty. You check your phone, you scroll, you distract, but the stillness returns, louder this time. You wonder why joy feels like a memory, and why purpose feels like a lie. But what if this ache wasn't a failure? What if it's the first sign of something awakening? Nietzsche called this the crack in the system, the moment when the old truths stop working and the world starts to lose its meaning. He saw it coming, the age of numbness, the collapse of values, the crowd replacing the soul. And now, you're living in the world he predicted. This ache you feel, it's not madness. It's clarity, a soul refusing to be buried. So if you feel lost, good. You're not asleep anymore. You're beginning to question the script. You're starting to see. At the center of every life, there used to be a why. Not a perfect one, not always logical. But it was there, a story, a structure, a sense that life meant something beyond survival. But something cracked. Nietzsche didn't whisper it. He shouted it, God is dead. And it wasn't a celebration. It was a warning. He wasn't talking about religion alone. He was mourning the collapse of meaning itself. Because when the sacred dies, it doesn't just leave a gap. It creates a vacuum, and in that vacuum, we filled it with distractions, pleasure, noise, achievement. But nothing truly answers the question, what is this all for? When God died, so did the story that told us who we are, what we're here for, what is good and what is merely convenient. So now we float, untethered, anxious, always looking for something to believe in, but terrified to believe in anything at all. And here's the dark irony. We act as if we are free, but most of us are more lost than ever, because we don't know what to serve. And without something greater to serve, we serve ourselves until we're empty. Nietzsche saw it before we lived it. He knew this day would come, when the soul would hunger, but the world would only offer more emptiness. And maybe you felt it too. You don't remember the moment it happened, the moment the real you slipped beneath the surface. It wasn't a decision, it was a drift. You watched, you learned, you adapted. You did what they did. You said what got approval. You wore the mask that fit the moment, and slowly, the mirror forgot your face. Nietzsche called it the herd, not sheep, not cattle, but something worse. A mass of people who fear standing alone, who trade truth for comfort, authenticity for applause. You were not born to be part of the herd. You were born to become, to struggle, to shape yourself. But that was too dangerous, too inconvenient. So instead, you became a mask, smiling when empty, agreeing when silent, performing when exhausted. And every time you bent to the crowd, a piece of you broke off, until what remained was hollow. This is how the herd wins, not through violence, but through comfort, through quiet conformity. It makes you forget that you were born to stand alone, to suffer meaningfully rather than float meaninglessly. But here's the truth. Nietzsche never sugarcoated. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. And if you've ever felt like you're acting in your own life, now you know why. You've tried to outrun it. The emptiness, the questions, the thing behind the thing. But it waits, always, silently, like a mirror you avoid. Nietzsche called it the abyss. Not just despair, but the raw truth underneath everything you pretend to be. You think the abyss is outside of you, but it's not. It's inside. And when you stare into it long enough, it begins to stare back. Not with eyes, but with recognition. You see yourself. The parts you deny, the shame, the rage, the hollowness you hide with smiles. This is why most never go deeper. They stay on the surface, busy, loud, numb. Because looking into the abyss means admitting your life is not fully your own, that you are not who you pretend to be. But Nietzsche wasn't afraid of the void. He knew the abyss is not your enemy. It's your only path to becoming real. You will not find meaning by running. You'll find it by standing still, by staring back, by letting the silence speak. Because what you fear in the abyss is not death. It's yourself, unmasked, unforgiving, unfiltered. But it's only when you see it, all of it, that you can begin again. Not as a mask, but as something real. After the silence, after the abyss, comes a choice. You can break, or you can burn, but not burn out. Burn brighter, fiercer, truer. This is the moment Nietzsche was pointing to. The rise of the will to power, not power over others, power over yourself, your habits, your patterns, your fear. The will to power is not control, it's creation. It's choosing meaning in a world that offers you none. It's saying, I will not be reduced. I will not be swallowed by the herd. I will not vanish into the abyss. I will rise and bring fire with me. This fire lives in you, buried beneath expectations, beneath wounds, beneath silence. But it's there, and it's waiting. You are not here to shrink. You are here to become, to shape your soul like an artist shapes stone, with pain, with force, with vision. You don't need a perfect path. You need a will, a fire that refuses to go out. So light the match, face the storm, build the life that scares you, because the opposite of being lost is not being found. It's being forged. Don't fear the fire. Be the fire. After the fire, after the storm, you find something strange. Not perfection, not peace, but something deeper. Yourself. Not the one they shaped, not the one you performed, but the one who watched, silently, through all of it. The self that endured, the self that remembers. Nietzsche didn't believe in arriving. He believed in becoming. You weren't meant to be one fixed thing. You were meant to evolve, to fall apart, to rebuild, to choose. This is what it means to live without lies, to strip away the false, to accept the pain, to reclaim your voice. And then, quietly, to stand in your own presence, not needing permission, not waiting for applause, just being. You are not what they told you. You are not your wounds. You are not the emptiness. You are the one who went through it and kept going. Not because it was easy, but because you refused to stay lost. You are not broken. You are being reshaped. Every shadow, every silence was carving you into something rare. Not a copy, not a mask, but a soul. Unshackled, unfiltered, unapologetically whole. This isn't the end. There is no end. Only this moment and the next choice. You are always becoming. Now, finally, you remember. So now you've seen it. The silence, the storm, the self beneath the mask. This wasn't just a story about Nietzsche, it was a story about you. The pain you felt, it wasn't failure. It was the invitation. The question now is, what will you do with it? If this hit you, if you felt seen, don't scroll away. Drop a "I will rise and bring fire with me" in the comments if you're done playing the role and ready to rise as your real self. Subscribe for the next chapter, because this is only the beginning.